Hey guys, so today I'll be reviewing the Artist's Soft Oil Pastels by Mungyo Gallery. And note that there are soft oil pastels and oil pastels from the same brand, and these ones are the soft oil pastels. From what I heard, the soft oil pastels are far better than the normal oil pastels. Since no review is complete without a comparison, I'm going to be comparing them with the Cray Pas Expressionist. And to my Indian friends out there, I'm also be comparing it with the Camel oil pastels. Here I'm using the Mungyo Gallery Artist Soft Pastels. What I noticed with these pastels is that they are super creamy, and by the way, I've already done a video using these pastels. The link to the video will be in the description box below, and you can also click the I button at the top right corner of the screen and check that video out. So that was the first time I used these oil pastels to draw an oil lamp, and it was an amazing experience. So these pastels are so creamy, they just glide on the paper. When I was reading an art blog about various oil pastels, I found that the Mungyo Gallery was categorized under the student grade oil pastels, and I was amazed by that because I thought this was the highest any oil pastel could go, with an exception to Sennelier and Holbein, of course. So since it was categorized under student grade, I was like, okay, so what will the actual artist grade look like? I would probably not buy any oil pastels in the near future, but if at all I do, then the next one would be the Senneliers, of course, because I have heard a lot about their smoothness and creaminess and their lipstick-like consistency. I just can't wait to try them. So as you can see here, these pastels are really creamy, and if you can check that oil lamp video of mine, you'll find that I have made that painting on an A3 size paper which had some tooth to it, which means that a lot of pastel goes into the paper. Even though I used a lot of pastel for that, my pastels were just fine, were almost new. What I mean to say is that these pastels would definitely last a long time. They don't get exhausted very quickly. I think it's because they crumble a lot less compared to the Cray Pas Expressionist. Even though they do crumble a little bit, they don't come out and mess around like the Cray Pas, which I found very helpful. One more thing with these pastels is that they are super opaque. Any layer beneath wouldn't really show on top. The darker colors are very pigmented and very opaque, but of course the lighter colors are a little bit translucent. So as you can see here, I got that oil painted effect, which I really like. I always thought that the Cray Pas were the best, but I think the Mungyo Gallery are better than the Cray Pas. However, one thing that I find a little bit annoying is that all the colors are not equally pigmented, especially the lighter colors. Some of them are super pigmented. For example, the salmon color is very pigmented, though it is light. However, the white oil pastel is not as pigmented. You need quite a lot of coats in order to show the highlight. The white oil pastel from Mungyo is almost equally pigmented with that of the Cray Pas. The good thing about these pastels is that they can be blended with your fingers very easily. So obviously they can be blended with any blending tool like stumps or tortillons, and of course I find blending with my fingers very easy and comfortable. Now coming to the Cray Pas oil pastels, if you have seen my previous videos, you'd know that I've used these oil pastels quite a bit. I just love them. but now that the Mungyo has come, I feel that they are underperforming. The thing I like about the Cray Pas is that though they are thick, they are quite smooth to be blended easily with fingers. You can also blend easily with the pastel, with the oil pastel. These pastels are translucent, they are not opaque like the Mungyo, so the layers beneath are going to show through the top layer, which is a good thing because sometimes when you want to blend or when you want your underpainting to show through, these pastels just do great. But compared to the Mungyo gallery, these are a lot more thicker and these crumble a lot. And also I observed that these really cannot be layered that much. As you can see, I'm using the same paper for all the three pastels, and yet the Mungyo gallery could take in more layers of oil pastel compared to the Cray Pas. One thing about Mungyo gallery that I observed is that the colors cannot really be blended easily with the pastel itself as compared to the Cray Pas. If you can see, most of the time I just blend the colors with the pastel itself when I use the Cray Pas. You can really achieve a different type of blending and a different type of painted effect with the Mungyo, which is very professional, which looks very neat and it has a different type of finish to it, so that's why I prefer the Mungyo. Now let's move on to the favorite brand of the Indian market, that is the Camel oil pastels. I honestly wouldn't have included this brand in this video, but then I thought, I have to make a comparison between my most favorite brand and the least favorite brand, because sometimes we need to go keep on checking why we hate that brand. So now that I checked, I don't think I might use it again. This is the Camel oil pastels in 50 shades, and this was the first set of oil pastels that I ever bought. The time when I bought these pastels, I thought that this was the most I could go. I thought it was really a great investment, but now I find that it is not. If you guys are really on a budget, then I would suggest that you go for the Camel Supreme oil pastels, that is the new addition to the market, because these pastels are not that great. If you can see, I was struggling a lot to get the same effect that I got before. These don't blend that much and these crumble a lot more, which is really annoying. My table was filled with the oil pastel crumbles. I wouldn't even suggest these pastels for beginners because you would hate the entire oil pastel medium. These pastels have very less oil content in them, and that's why you need to apply a lot of pressure while working with them, so these are a definite no for me. Okay, now I'm just showing you a gradient effect with all the three pastels to let you know how these pastels blend into each other. And here I think the Mungyo as well as the Cray Pas did a great job. But on the other hand, if you can see, the Mungyo has, as I said, it has a smooth and professional finish. So the winner here will be Mungyo. However, if you guys are thinking of buying the Mungyo gallery 72 shade set, then I would suggest that you better go for the Senilia oil pastels in 24 shades, because that would be a better alternative. So that was my overall review and comparison of these oil pastels. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss out my upcoming videos, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.